TGIF, we made it to another Friday. I'm gonna give it a few seconds for y'all to catch this notification. But guys, I just got done with a maintenance. I'm gonna put up, I got like at least 2 vlogs I gotta edit and I gotta put up. Tomorrow I gotta go do another job. I think it's a maintenance I have tomorrow. There's a bunch of vlogs I'm gonna put out this weekend. The one I just came from, it was just a heat maintenance. It wasn't much going on. Next week, I didn't even look at the schedule for next week. Guys, we got to like maybe 30% of our maintenance customers. Like, guys, believe it or not, we didn't really have a show this season. I'm used to October being slow as hell. I'm not used to things picking up until like maybe mid to late November. But I didn't expect us to have 40-degree days like this until like at least next month. So like, guys, I'm not sure, if you guys, hopefully you guys are in the trade just like me, but around this time last year, guys, it was dead slow. For the past 2 years, the last 2 Octobers, it's been real warm. So like, I'm definitely glad that the weather snapped a little early. So, that's allowing, HVAC companies like us to start picking up on maintenances, and, we're getting a lot more service calls too than we did around this time last year. So, but guys, just be on the lookout. So I'll put what I did today. If I don't put it out today, I'm going to put it out tomorrow. But like I said, I got at least 2 I have to edit, and it's a bunch of shorts that I'm going to put up. So make sure you guys turn the notifications on. I don't know when they're going to drop, but make sure you don't miss them because they usually come out in bunches. But guys, let's talk about the topic of today. Now, guys, this is a very sensitive, I want to say not sensitive, but this is a very interesting, for lack of a better word, topic, because I know a lot of guys that probably still do work with warranty companies. We used to do work for warranty companies. And like I said, guys, I'm going to be as honest and as transparent as I can. I'm here to give you guys the real rap. I started the company in 2016. I want to say, I'm talking percentages wise, I want to say about maybe 30% of the customers I had was probably customers that knew what I did prior to starting the business. So like, guys, I didn't start the company off warranty companies. I started the companies off the few people that, like I said, maybe from the job I had at the 9 to 5. I think at that time I did HVAC at a hospital, and then I did teaching. I did that 4 days a week. If you guys remember the life story video, I had 3 jobs at once. I did side jobs around when I taught and around my 9 to 5 HVAC job. So like, guys, a lot of people knew what I did, and like, that's what I used to start the company. But eventually, guys, like, so I got very fortunate. I'm not gonna say lucky. I got fortunate to have a few installs from those few people that knew what I did, but that wasn't really enough to like get me over the hump. So guys, like I said, I didn't start the business with a mentor. I just, I'm used to taking initiative and, like I said, trying a bunch of shit. So like, I'm not used to asking for permission. That's not what I do. I just try shit, and like I said, the things that works out for me, I record it, and then, like I said, I figure out how to get better at it. But if I try something and it doesn't work, I just don't take it personal. I just rock and roll, and I just, I learn and I keep it moving. But like, guys, I heard about home warranty companies, and like, even when I was an employee, guys, I never worked for a company that worked for home warranty companies. So I'm like, the concept of it was like really, foreign. I'm like, okay, like, home warranty companies, I get the gist of it. Home warranty companies are for people that just bought a house. Maybe they're not mechanically inclined, and maybe, they need a third party to help them find contractors for home repairs. And let me look at the comments, guys. Hold on, because I like yapping. Hold on, Skater Life. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You look. So guys, I don't want to get too far off topic. I see your comments, vlogs, Chrome Den Vlogs. What's up? Ball. I used to play ball back in my day. Marla, what's going on, y'all? So look, let me get into the topic here. So yeah, like I said, I didn't know what home warranty companies was. I knew the concept of it is for people that maybe homeowners that they don't know anything about plumbing, electric, or HVAC, so they pay a third-party company $20 a month or $50 a month, and when something breaks, the homeowner calls the third-party company, and that third-party company has contractors that come to the customer's house, and then the story happens from there. So guys, I understood the concept of home warranty companies very early, but I never got into it because, like I said, I got lucky fortunate enough with 1 or 2 installs, and like, I had maybe 3 or 4 thousand in savings from the 2 jobs I had before I started the business. So I'm like, all right, I'm good for like a couple months, but I'm like, all right, what's next after this? Because I know eventually these 4 or 5 people that I have now, like, it's not gonna really be enough. So like, I'm like, all right, what more can I do? And guys, like, I had to leave, and I'm not gonna eradicate names. I'm gonna let you know exactly the companies we used to work for, because I know most of you guys, or some of you guys, probably know people that still work for these companies. So like, back in 2016, we started off with like 1, 2, 3, 4. We started off with 4 home warranty companies. We started off with Choice Home Warranty, American Home Shield, and guys, for context, we're in Pennsylvania. We started off with 4 warranty companies: Choice Home Warranty, American Home Shield, Select Warranty, and then the 4th one was kind of flaky. It was a home warranty company. I was in PA, but like, it was kind of like one of those flaky home warranty companies. Like, they didn't have a good reputation, but like, at this point, I looked at it from like, we just need work, like, I was just afraid of the schedule slowing down. That was my only benefit in my eyes of working with home warranty companies. I just don't want to be at the house. Like, I want to be on the road, like, actually, building my name. I just want to experience in business, guys. Like, that's kind of like, that was my game plan. Like, if I see 100 customers, I know I can sell myself, and I'm like, I can figure out everything else on the back end. I just need opportunities, So guys, at fast forward, once I signed up, and this isn't with one particular home warranty company. They're all pretty much the same. But after I got, a couple of weeks in, and guys, if you remember my life story, when I started the business, I was driving fucking 2 hours a day, guys. Like, our service radius was crazy as hell, guys. And like, if anyone was around me, they can definitely vouch. That GMC, not Savannah, the GMC Safari I had, that compact van I had, guys, I drove that mofo in the ground. And like I said, guys, like, breakdowns happened. I had to cancel jobs because, work was getting done to one of the truck. Well, work was getting done to that truck. That was the only truck I had. But guys, I ran that truck into the ground. And like, I started, locally. This is back when I was living in Jersey, right before I moved to PA. I started, servicing North Jersey, South Jersey, near New York, near Atlantic City, near Lancaster, 2 hours away. And like, guys, literally, just think about what I'm telling you. I'm driving from Lancaster to North Jersey and then back to Lancaster. That's like 3 jobs and like almost 10 hours of driving. And like, this is before I knew anything. I didn't know, efficiency. I didn't know my job costs. I didn't know literally what the cost of doing business is. Like, I didn't know any of this, guys. I learned this as I went along. So like, with the home warranty thing, like, I mean, they definitely took full advantage of me not knowing things. And like, that's what I'm going to go over in a second, guys. Like, home warranty companies helped me get more experience of dealing with customers, because like, I really wasn't making much money from it, like, luckily, guys, I didn't start this business in debt. Like, I started this business off of my ability to make money. Like, I didn't take out a loan to like buy a truck. I started this shit off with a U-Haul truck, and then once I got a couple jobs in, I flipped that into a $1,000 van on Craigslist. That's how I got that GMC Safari. So luckily, guys, I didn't start a business in debt. And to each his own. If you guys can handle, like I said, taking out a bank loan at 20% interest, have at it. But like I said, guys, I'm glad I never started in debt. So like, I had the leeway of, like I said, just starting with a clear mind and just building my name up, building my experience, understanding, like I said, what it takes to, like, if a truck breaks down, how much money am I losing every day? What are my monthly expenses? Like, there's a bunch of things you're going to learn as you go. No one's a finished product. If you start a business, eventually you're going to have to learn how to adjust and how to build on the fly. You have to learn by being on the stage. You can't learn by watching someone else run a business. But guys, like, there was a bunch of things I learned, and like the home warranty aspect of it. Like, and this is what everybody told me. Like, Choice Home Warranty, American Home Shield, everybody told me the same thing. Yeah, like, I see you're a one-person company. Working with us is great. We don't charge you a monthly fee. You get as much work as you can. Blase blase. Hey guys, that's their job, to try to sell you on the glitz and glamour. But like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they're giving me what I want. I just want to see. I want to, be able to sell myself to more customers and sell maintenance agreements, guys. Without even knowing on the back end that, like I said, I was going to get screwed over. I knew that my end goal with this home warranty shit, this would be a means to an end. I wasn't planning on staying with this long term, because I'm driving fucking 2 hours, if not 2 to 3 hours a day minimum, and that doesn't include customers that already know us. So like, imagine all that, guys. Like, it's definitely a lot of drive time, but like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice at least 3 or 4 months of doing this home warranty stuff, and I have to understand, like, hey, like, if this customer didn't have a home warranty, how would they still contact us? And guys, like without a coach or anything, I understood how maintenances worked at all the companies I've been at. So like I was a damn near real good service tech guys with like fixing shit, selling shit. That was like, you know, that wasn't foreign to me. I was like pretty simple. But like now I realize, like I said, like when it's not cold or if it's not real hot outside, like I got to find a way of staying in customers' houses, or I have to find a way for them to stay in contact with us. So like I drafted up our first maintenance agreement, and like I'm like, you know what? These home warranty companies, they're only paying us like $70 to come out to this customer's house, and they have their own price guides that they give you. And I'm like, I already know I'm probably not going to get paid shit, but I'm like, if the home warranty companies aren't going to pay me, how can we make a profit? How can we make more than what we're spending? Because I'm spending $80 a day on gas, and like guys, it was like I said, the plus minus wasn't good. But like I'm like, you know what? If I just start selling these maintenance agreements for $100 or $50, I'm like, if I start selling these maintenance agreements, all right, maybe this customer can say, you know what? Forget the home warranty company. Why not just call Andrew? And our name wasn't Drewdriskle Heating and Air. It used to be Herring's Home Quality Services, and we filed the DBA like 4 or 5 years ago, and we switched it over to Drewdriskle. But like maybe I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I can get enough customers, maybe a handful, to just convert from dealing with the home warranty companies to us, maybe I can build up clientele. Basically, take customers away from the home warranty company. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get that a couple months and I'm gonna try it. And like, gosh, I mean, it was definitely a lot of expenses up front, you know, with vans breaking down, you know, me catching a flat tire 5 o'clock on the highway. And like I said, me having to cancel all the calls I had the next morning. Guys, like I said, the work was real, but like I said, with that home warranty shit, it works if you have a plan to have leverage over them, guys. Like, and this has nothing to do with the customer. I don't want you guys to misconstrue what I say. The customer is pretty much going to be the person that's going to be left in the blank. I can tell you right now in a nutshell, guys, if you're a homeowner and you get one of these home warranty policies, the home warranty company is going to sell you a dream. They're going to say, hey, you only pay us $50 a month. When something breaks, we cover everything. We cover lack of maintenance. We cover rust, blah, blah, blah. So now the homeowner doesn't care because, like I said, they don't know shit about HVAC. They don't know things about home warranty. The only thing they know is, like I said, I'm paying this company $50 a month. When something breaks, I call them and they fix it. Now, this is where you come into play as an HVAC company. The home warranty company sold you a dream and told you, you know what? We got 50 customers in your area right now that need HVAC companies. Tell you what, if you agree to our price guide, and guys, this price guide shit is a joke, but like, if you agree to our price guide of XYZ and we only going to pay you $100 here, tell you what, you're not going to get rich off one customer, but if we give you 100 customers, maybe you can make a lot of money out of it. And guys, that's how they rope a lot of new companies in. And like I said, guys, I'm gonna dive deep into this, guys, because like, I've been on both sides. I know what my value is. I know what our worth is, and I know what the cost of doing business is. I know if we don't make any money today, I know exactly how much we still have to pay each and every day up until our monthly expenses. And that's not something I learned until, like I said, shit hit the fan. But like, yeah, so fast forward, guys, they're gonna rope you in, let you know there's no monthly expense. You know, you can go to XYZ's house, you can sell maintenance agreements, but you have to agree to our price guide. You can't charge more than $100 for a thermostat, blah, blah, blah. And guys, you as a business owner, if you don't have any expenses, you may say, you know what? Okay, you know, that's a good deal. You know, why not do it? But guys, when I tell you like this, it was good up until, like I said, I got a couple of weeks in, and like I said, guys, those net 60 and net 90 payments, it only took me about like probably almost a month to realize that, yo, like, I'm doing all this work up front, I'm assuming liability. Like, what's the payoff to this? Like, what am I actually getting from this? Like, I know, like I said, I'm getting like 1 or 2 maintenance customers. I'm talking from the home warranty company, but I'm like, what am I actually getting from this? And I'm like I couldn't make sense of the expenses and all the upfront costs. And I'm like this is like a legit finesse. I'm like, me as a contractor, I'm using my parts, I'm using my tools, I'm using my insurance, I'm using my expertise. And if something breaks, this customer isn't calling the warranty company. They're probably gonna call you because they know you came out to the house. So I have to warranty all this, and like, I can't project how much I'm gonna charge. I'm like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm like, why can't the home warranty company just have their own companies, have their own contractors? And I'm like, then it hit me, guys. I'm like, that's probably why the home warranty company doesn't want to have their own in-house technicians. It's because they don't want to assume the responsibility for when shit hits the fan. So like, and then in the back of my mind, guys, it took me Within the course of, like I said, 6 months, everything I'm telling you, like, I seen this day by day, and I'm like, yo, like, how the hell? And I'm not the smartest person in the world with finances, but I'm like, if a thermostat costs me $50 and they're telling me I can't charge more than $100, I got to pay gas. I'm not going to magically show up to a customer's house. I still have to pay gas and I have to pay for parts. And I'm like, how's this actually turning a profit? And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I get what they told me. And I'm like, I'm not blaming the customer because, like I said, the customer is only a puppet to what the warranty company tells them. I'm like, you know what? That unfortunately put us in the middle of a lot of bullshit because I'm like, and I flat out told the customer, I'm like, look, if the home warranty company isn't paying to make this right, I'm not rigging up blow motors. I'm not rigging up circuit boards. Like, there's only one way to do a job, and that's the right way. And I'm like, if they're only going to pay us $150 for a blow motor, and the motor costs $200, like, I'm just not doing the job. I'm not obligated to, like I said, lose money. You fucking crazy. And like most customers understood it, but like, eventually it got to a point. I'm like, you know what, like, I tried to hang in there enough to, like, say, get a couple of maintenance agreements, but guys, like, the juice definitely was not worth the squeeze of dealing with the home warranty companies. And then the second, guys, I'm gonna go into some pros of dealing with home warranty companies. I just told you some cons, but let me look at this. Said hi, Ethan, what's going on? Elaine said hi, what's up? I see y'all comments, but guys, once again, if you're just joining us live, I'm just talking about the birds and the bees of home warranty companies. I'm assuming most of you guys that are joining home warranty companies are smaller companies. It wouldn't make sense for a bigger company to join home warranty companies because I heard this analogy a lot. Like, yeah, we only join home warranty companies to keep our guys busy. Being busy and making money is two totally different things, guys. You can be busy and not make any money, like just to say you running calls, but like I was doing 20 jobs, well, 5 jobs a day. I say 5 days a week, but like I said, most days my truck broke down. So like I had to at least take a day off every week to make sure the truck was working. So like, I want to say at least 20 jobs I was doing a week. Times 4, that was 100 jobs a month, guys. And that doesn't include weekend work. I'm doing 100 jobs a month, guys. And I'm going, like I said, pedal to the metal. I'm rocking all these jobs out. And like, I'm looking at my bank account at the end of the month. I'm like, all right, I know I got insurance. I don't even have overhead like that. At that point, it was just me. I'm like, you know what? I don't have overhead. I just got gas, insurance. I got general liability insurance, and I have auto insurance. I'm like, where's the money? Like, is someone stealing from my bank account? And like, sure enough, I looked at what they paid, and like, it's like, this shit is like criminal in a way. But like I said, guys, like, it's not illegal because they tell you exactly what you have to agree to before you start working. But like, the point is, you have to be diligent as a contractor. I'm talking as an HVAC company, and you got to know your worth. If you don't know your worth and you want to work for someone like that, then like I said, like, have at it. But like I said, you don't really get to complain on the back end when they start playing around with your money. And now, if you agree to $100 now, in 2 months, they're gonna say, you know what? Can you lower your price to $20? Like, guys, like, this is a business. This is not like some hobby. You have to pay insurance. You got taxes you got to pay. Like, imagine, like I said, you go to a customer's house and like you do all this work, and at the back end of it, they try to hassle and try to cut down a quarter of the price. Like, nah, like, all the price has to be negotiated up front before work gets done. That's every business in the world. No one does work without telling the customer how much it's going to cost, or at least I hope you guys don't do this. But like, once the price is locked down, that's when the work starts. And like I said, that's ABCs. But like, these home warranty companies, they have a weird way of trying to finagle you. And like I said, they don't really care about the customer because they're already getting hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from all these customers without them putting claims in. But like, they try to stick contractors on the back end. But like I said, these contractors are the one that carries the liability. God forbid, if like, say, you get hurt on the way to the customer's house, you don't even make any money. So it's like, I don't get the gist long term of dealing with these home warranty companies unless you don't know your worth. And life goes on, guys. If you don't know your worth, it's probably gonna take you getting taken advantage of, and you getting some money took from you for you to understand what not to do. Some people learn from people telling them things, and some people learn from going through it. But if you got to go through it, then like I said, I hope you got your seatbelt in and the helmet, because they're gonna take your ass for a ride, man. That's for damn sure. But guys, let's talk about the pros of doing these home warranty companies. I told you like 3 or 4 that we dealt with. Home warranty companies can get you access to customers, but it's up to you to how you want to close these customers, guys. Like, and this is strictly for business owners or some technicians. Like I said, if you had a curiosity to how to deal with these home warranty companies, you got to have a way of, like I said, of converting these home warranty customers to your customers, guys. And the only way to do that is you got to learn how to sell maintenance agreements. There's really no other way around it. Like I said, to get a customer to remember you 6 months from now, unless something breaks down, it's going to be slim to none. Unless you have, like I said, you got an office person that can do follow-ups, but ultimately you're going to be following up on either quotes on repairs or you're going to be following up for maintenance. So why not, instead of waiting until, like I said, months later, it may be best to just bring up maintenance while you're making a repair. Oh yeah, by the way, ma'am or sir, we do XYZ, blase, blase. That's what we did. And like, we got like at least down there 50 customers within a 6-month span from offering maintenances. Because like I said, guys, like, we don't work like at that time. Here's how the spill went when I used to conversate with customers. I let them know I'm not the warranty company. We're an independent contractor. We're an independent HVAC company, but we don't work for your warranty company. I'm like, whatever they told you is different than what they told us. So like, and I said that to say this. I told them, I'm like, look, they may tell you that they cover maintenance related issues, but like most of the time they decline it. Like any insurance company is looking for a way to deny the claim. Like, and most customers have common sense, even if they don't know HVAC, they know an auto insurance company. If you put a claim in right now with your insurance, they're looking for ways of denying the claim. This is common sense. Insurance companies, once again, guys, for the ones in the back, insurance companies do not make money by approving claims. They make money by denying claims while you still paying them every month. That's common sense. So if you guys know how that works, why would home warranty companies be different? Like I said, I don't count anybody's pockets, guys. I'm not, like I said, I'm telling you from my personal experience, the pros and cons of home warranty companies. Home warranty companies bring in millions a month because customers don't always put claims in every time. And it takes months and almost years for parts to accumulate wear and tear. And like I said, they put a clause in the contract that a customer can't have a breakdown for a year. But you can't have a breakdown for a year until you put a claim, or you can't put a claim in until you put a break, until like a year of no breakdowns or something like that. So like, if a customer has an issue now and they get the policy tomorrow, the home warranty company would know when the policy started, and the policy started within a year of them putting a claim in. Like, that's automatic denial. So like, think about it, guys. Like, they're taking a year, a minimum, at least a year worth of payments from you before you can even put a claim in, which is like, the shit is like I said, it's not up to me to let you know if that's legal or not. You guys can draw your own opinions to it, but like, the fact that, like I said, it's so many clauses and stipulations that the customers probably won't know about until now. They 3 years in of having no issues, and now once that AC needs to get replaced, it's going to get denied. And now they're going to put you into it because you're the contractor that came out to tell them that it needs to get replaced, guys. And like, I'm not getting in the middle of that shit, at least not for peanuts, you know. I can deal with disgruntled customers, I can deal with angry customers, but if I'm dealing with it, I'm going to deal with it at my cost. I'm not dealing with it with a third party telling me, yeah, by the way, you can only charge $1,000 to replace this coil. Well, you do it yourself if you think that's how much it costs. You know, no harm, no foul, guys. Like, I don't work for free, and I don't encourage none of you guys to work for free. Am I trying to get rich off one customer? No, but I know what it takes to keep my lights on, and I'm not struggling based on me being scared to let a customer know or let a home warranty company know that, like, hey, this is how much it costs to me to get to a customer's house and fix the issue. If you don't want it done right, then, like I said, find somebody with no insurance and no credibility to go out and try to fix it. And like I said, once they don't come back to fix it, now you got to pay someone else to fix the other person's issue. And now, like, that's why, guys, I don't even argue. I have enough experience of seeing good and bad scenarios, guys, and this is what I explain to customers all the time. But like, you know, the pros, and the only pro I can think of with home warranty companies, just to reiterate what I just said, the only pros, like I said, they give you access to customers that you can convert. But guys, the bullshit that you got to deal with, like, you know, excuse my language, like, it's going to be a headache, man. And it gets to a point where, like I said, even trying to convert those customers to maintenance, the fact that you have a third party person on the other end that you have to deal with that has nothing to do with, like guys, like, it's weird as hell. It almost defeats the purpose of having a business. I'm pretty sure if most of you guys have a business, you have the autonomy to make your own decisions. You're not in the business just to report back to someone else to let them know how much you're charging. That doesn't make any damn sense. At least not to me, it doesn't. I like dealing with the decision maker. I said this a million and one times in different videos. I like dealing with the decision maker, guys. And like I said, that's easy enough for me. You know, if the customer wants to do it, cool. If not, then like I said, I have no issues with that. You know, I just do my job of giving options. And like I said, guys, like, it's very black and white with me. You know, the customer knows what they're going to get. And like, there's nothing more, nothing less to it. But like with these home warranty companies, guys, like in the back of my mind, regardless of what happens between me and the customer, there's always something in the back of my mind that says, you know what, like I got a feeling this home warranty company is going to try to clip me on the back end. If I bill them out for like $200 or something, they might call me next week and say, yeah, we need you to lower your price. Like the work is already done. What do you mean lower your price? That doesn't make any sense, guys. And it's just, the cons are plentiful. Like I said, the cons is you're gonna be busy, but you're not gonna make a lot of money, guys, and that's just the fact. If you're hoping to make, if you're hoping to get rich from a home warranty company, then like I said, guys, I mean, I think you should try hitting the lottery. You might hit the lottery, like I said, 150 times, all within a month before you get rich from a home warranty company. So like, guys, like just to give you some encouragement, I'm not trying to discourage anybody that's currently working with home warranty companies, but understand it's a long-term game. And like I said, guys, eventually every home warranty company is going to try to stip you out of payment. That's how they make money. They make money by charging the customer and having you come out to do free labor. I repeat, you're the free labor and the customer is paying the home warranty company. I understand how this shit works. This is common sense, actually, but like, you have to, like I said, take your emotions out the equation, take how the customer feels about the home warranty company out the equation. But you have to understand, the home warranty company is making money whether they hire you or not. The customer is still paying the home warranty company every single month. So like, guys, like I said, I don't want to call this shit a scam, but that's exactly what it is to me. Like I said, but you know, the best thing you can do, guys, is just try to protect yourself from it and understand how it works. And like I said, you know, if you have to go down that route of dealing with home warranty companies, I'll say know what you want from it. And like I said, don't expect the home warranty company to look out for you. Don't expect the customer to look out for you either. The customer mainly wants the shit done. They don't care. The only thing they know is they're paying this home warranty company $50 a month. They don't care what company they send out as long as you fix the problem. So like, you can't expect to sympathize with the customer. Like, yeah, this home warranty company, you know, you don't want to start bitching and complaining like, oh, this home warranty company is only charging me only paying me $100 for this thermostat. The customer is going to say, okay, well, so call them about it. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me about it? So like, guys, like I said, I've been through it all. I've seen it all. And like I said, guys, I'm glad I got out that shit. Like I said, we don't deal with any home warranty companies. You know, like I said, for the guys that do, I know it's a headache, it's pain in the ass. It's almost like you have a problem you got to deal with every day. Not the customer. I'm talking like a third party. It's like, and that third party, regardless of what you guys agree to, they have the ability to withhold payments and find conniving ways to try to use you as cheap labor, guys. Like, that shit is illegal as hell to me. I can't really give you a benefit behind it. You know, like I said, most of our money came from customers that just got sick of dealing with home warranty companies. But like I said, like, those home warranty companies, I mean, I know we wasn't their favorite vendor to deal with, but I mean, they knew that we knew what the fuck we was doing. You know, we didn't have any recalls because they tried to get us to authorize to band-aid a bunch of work. And I'm like, I'm not going to fix something unless I can guarantee it's going to work. And I'm like, we had arguments almost every other week, guys, with us and these home warranty companies back like 2016 to 2018. They used to call me every day, like, yeah, Drew, like, yeah, you or one of your guys came out, such and such. Yeah, you tried to charge $300 for a blow motor, but for this blow motor, can you do it for $100? We found one cheaper online, blase blase. I always used to hit him with this, guys. I'm like, all right, well, tell you what, if we put that blow motor in for $100 and it doesn't work, will we still make money on a recall? Well, no, that's not how it works. Then why the hell would why would I potentially set myself up for a recall? I wouldn't do that for a regular customer. Why would I rig something up thinking it's probably not going to work? That doesn't make sense. And you're wasting my time. If I'm doing something that's not working, they're probably going to withhold payment from you because the unit isn't working. So I'm like, you can't finesse somebody that understands how the game works. Like, and like I said, hopefully, you know, I hate to call people like this, but hopefully you guys aren't stupid enough to just get blindsided by the idea of having work. You know, even though I knew I wanted customers, guys, I knew how to sell myself, and I knew how to, like I said, flip and convert people to maintenances. If I didn't know how to do that, guys, like I said, I don't know if we would have made it. Like I said, past, like I said, the first 2 years in business. The first couple months, like I said, we got lucky with installs from the people that knew us. But like I said, the whole back half of that first year, I was just like hustling, like I said, 2-3 hour drives, hustling, but I was selling a bunch of maintenances. So like, technically, we didn't really have to deal with a home warranty company like that, or at least not as much as most companies would have. But like I said, the day-to-day hassle of dealing with them, like who the hell wants to like knowingly do this work? You know, assuming you guys are competent enough at doing this, but like, who wants to do the work? You got to explain everything to the customer. Now on the back end, you got to explain shit to a rep that probably don't even know it's ass from a hole in the ground. And like, it's just like, it's very unnecessary, guys, and it's very tedious. Like, I can't even, and like I said, guys, I like to simplify things, but I can't give you a simple enough reason of why that's even beneficial past a certain amount of time, guys. Like, it only took me a couple months to get, what we wanted from home warranty companies. That's maintenance customers. And like I said, guys, like, from that standpoint, once I knew how I got more experience of dealing with customers, I knew how the conversion process works. Like, I'm like, look, I'm taking this to another domain. And like I said, guys, like, I mean, it's a long-term game, like I said, but like, the point is, guys, you gotta learn how to sell yourself. And like I said, you gotta make sure you're confident in the product and the service that you're selling. You can't necessarily, like I said, expect, one customer to take your company from zero to, like I said, whatever the case is. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, but like, the likelihood of that happening, it's gonna be a lot of bumps and bruises. There's gonna be a lot of things you're gonna have to learn about your costs. Make sure you know your price. You make sure, like, you understand your cost of doing business. Understanding your cost of doing business is the only way that's gonna, that's gonna keep your lights on. Like, a lot of customers, that's not their. I mean, if customers got business, they'll understand, but like, that's not really the customer's, responsibility to understand your cost of doing business, guys. And I mentioned this before. And some people may take offense to it, but it is what it is. Like, I mean, I don't explain my cost to the customer because, like I said, that I feel like that doesn't make any sense. The customer isn't in the business, so like, I mean, if they ask, like I said, I mean, you have to understand, guys. Like, that's not really going to be a positive scenario. If a customer asks me, like, hey, this motor you're charging $300 for, I found this part online for like $2. Like, hypothetically, I found this part online for $2. At that point, that's when you have to explain, hey, ma'am or sir, that's our professional cost. There's warranty, there's labor, but most importantly, that part you pay online is going to take an experienced person to install it. If you I always give customers leeway. They can always do what they want to do. If they want to buy that part online and try to install it themselves, have at it. I always encourage it. But if it doesn't work, now how much time are you going to waste trying to do it yourself and then having someone else come back to do it to make it right, guys? Like, most customers that I know don't really like playing around with their time like that. They pay for convenience, and that's exactly what I'll do. If I don't know how to fix cars, and I'm not really a mechanic. I know things about Savannas, but like, I pay mechanics, whatever, to make sure I don't have this problem again. Now, if I'm paying them over a certain amount, I'm still having this problem, that's a different ball game. But like I said, guys, I understand how business works. Everybody has their costs, and everybody instinctively knows that, like I said, the cheaper a price is, the less guarantees you're going to have. And like I said, that's why most customers never really go with the cheapest price, or at least not consistently. Once they get burnt by the cheapest contractor, that's when the lights go off and they say, you know what, now I see why most companies have to charge a little bit more, because there's a lot more to it than just buying the part online for $5 and just throwing it inside a unit, But guys, like I said, I'm about to rock out. But like I said, this home warranty stuff, I have very extensive and very intimate knowledge of dealing with them. But like I said, guys, I'm glad I got out of dealing with them when I did, because like I said, long term, it's just too much BS you have to deal with. This has nothing to do with customers, to do with HVAC. It has something to do with your cost of doing business. Everybody understands that everything costs, but like I said, if they don't want to pay, then you're not obligated to, like I said, do service for them. And I'm talking strictly for home warranty companies. I don't understand their business model, like, and I get how they dope customers, how they dope contractors in. They dope new HVAC companies in by saying that, hey, we can promise you all this work and there's no monthly cost, but where's the profit? You need profit to run a business. You can't run a business off promises of what can happen down the line, Based on what I just told you, that's no different from a customer saying that he has 12 cousins that need he has 12 cousins that need a new system. If you give him if you do this motor, that's $1,000. If you do this for free, he promised he'll refer you to 12 customers. And I'm like, I can't pay my bills this month off the promise of what can happen next month. I need profit to run. It doesn't work like that. So like, guys, like I said, I can go all day about the cost of doing business. It took me learning the hard way. Like I said, doing a lot of free things up front. But guys, doing a lot of things, and like I said, I don't advocate for, like I said, you to yourself out of competition. You want to make sure you're competitive, but like I said, and sometimes it do take you discount maintenances to get your feet in the door. That's a different avenue, getting your feet in the door. But like, once you get your feet wet and you understand how the process works, I mean, it takes, like I said, your expenses from year one is going to be way different than year two. You're growing, insurance premiums are growing up. Unfortunately, like I said, I wish we can charge the same price, you know, as we did year one. It's going to be year 9 in 2 weeks on the 31st. So like, guys, I wish we can charge the same price, but like I said, that's not reality. And I carefully explain this to customers. I make sure they understand this isn't personal. Like I said, if I could do this for free, I would, but like, that's not the reality, you know. Like, I need to keep the lights on, you know, like, and most customers understand it, you know. Like I said, if they don't understand it, you know, I have no problems with them finding a different HVAC company. But, you know, I'm not, like I said, I don't hide anything from customers. Like, you know, a business needs to make more than what it charges to actually operate. You know, I don't know any businesses, unless there's some illegal things going on. I don't know any businesses that's not making a profit and actually still, you know, that's still around for 30, 40 years, you know. But guys, let me look at the comments here. Eric, what's going on? I see your comments. Hold on. I used to explain to customers, you add more people, it does not make it cheap. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, but like, Eric, here's the thing. Like, that's the delicate balance. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, how I grew up, like I said, I always grew up. You know, I grew up in I grew up with a frugal mind. Well, I'm not gonna say frugal, but like, I didn't have anyone to teach me finances until I jumped off the porch at 18. Once I got out of trade school, like I said, and I seen a lot. Like I said, like growing up, like it didn't really translate to after 18. But like, as soon as I got to 18, I started doing service calls. Like, I thought $400 was a lot of money. Like, it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Like, I was like legit scared of selling maintenance agreements for $400. Like, that hour and a half company, like, I mean, that I was down there selling $600 capacitors back in like 2013, 2014. Like, I was legit scared. I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, how can someone afford $600? And like, that was just my limiting beliefs, guys. Like, cause growing up, I didn't see it. So like, based on what I'm doing now, like, I feel like everybody mentally, I think someone only knows as much as what they can relate something to, guys. $600 at that time was a lot of money, but like $600 now for someone to need something up and going, like I said, they have, you know, I'm talking like homeowners, it may not be as much, but like I said, someone that came up, you know, paycheck to paycheck mentality, like I said, you're probably going to have some type of you're going to be apprehensive with, you know, talking about something or charging over a certain amount, guys. And like, everybody goes through it. It took me a while to like get out of that doing that first job, but like, guys, like I always tell customers like this, like, you know, like, and based on what you said, Eric, I'm still answering your question. Like, you know, most customers instinctively knows that like every business can run for free, but like, is this, I think what most people do, guys, and like, this is not up for, you know, this is up for your interpretation of how you want to look at this. I think people confuse profits with like morals. And let me explain to you like this. They may think that the biggest HVAC company in PA right now is probably scamming people, and they may think that the cheapest company is the most honest company out there. And guys, that can be furthest from the truth. And like, that's why I always tell you guys, I don't give a damn what if you don't learn anything on this live video, you have to separate your emotions from your experience. Separate how you feel, separate, you know, saying like, you have to really get out of your head and understand why you're there, guys. Like, how I look at it like this, guys, and this is before I started the business, I used to look at it the same way how some customers look at it. I'm like, damn, this guy's charging me $800 for an alternator. I'm like, man, he's probably ripped me off. But I don't know this dude's expenses. Like I said, guys, like, unless you start a business or you have close ties to someone that started a business, you don't really care about someone's overhead. And that's why I tell you guys, trying to cry and complain about your overhead to a customer, like, they may sympathize with you if they know you, but like, they don't really care about it. Everybody got bills they got to pay. So like, that's I say that to say this, guys. Like, everybody got bills they pay. So like, if a customer has bills to pay, they should understand that if I'm coming to your house, I didn't just wake up at 12 o'clock p.m. and then I came in your house. Like, no, like, we're a legit business. We have operating expenses. I'm bringing a warehouse. I'm bringing a shop to you. I'm not telling you to disconnect your furnace and bring it to me like a mechanic would. You got to bring your car to a mechanic. No, like, I'm bringing everything to you. You know, give you warranties. You know, this is even when we dealt with warranty companies. We always did 1-year warranty repairs. So like, we never do work unless it's guaranteed to work. But like, all that, you know, accumulates into a cost, guys. Like, and that's something that some customers, I mean, I think most customers understand, but some customers won't understand. But like I said, guys, you can't really take it personal, get upset with them. With those customers, it may take them hiring the cheapest guy, and like I said, you know, and them understanding why the cheapest guy is the cheapest guy. Like, I don't have any desires of being the cheapest guy. Like I said, you know, I'm not telling you guys to, like I said, price 8 times more than everybody else. Understand, you know, how the competition is, but like I said, guys, like being the cheapest person, in theory, you may think, I'm talking for HVAC companies, in theory, you may think, you know what, damn, if I'm the cheapest person, I'm gonna get a lot more business. And that's exactly what the fuck I thought with home warranty companies. I'm like, damn, like if I'm the cheapest, I'll get more work. But then, guys, like that's a very that it's not a good I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, it's not a good feeling being 2 months in of doing that type of work and looking at your bank account. You knowing damn well you're doing 20 jobs a week or 100 jobs a month, give or take. You doing all this work and you looking at your bank accounts, you as a business owner, if the money ain't right, you ain't gonna feel good. And like I'm telling you, like I felt that feeling multiple times dealing with them, and I'm like, yo, I have to make a move to distance myself from dealing with these people, because like they're gonna drive me up a wall. And like I said, like and the customer has nothing to do with it, because the customer has already been lied to about that the home warranty company is going to cover everything. But like I'm not dealing with people like that. Like I'm like, if I don't deal with that on a day-to-day basis, like why would I like what is the benefit? Oh, this home warranty company is putting me in front of 20 new people. Fuck that. It has to be another way around it. And like I found my other way, you know. And that's why I'm gonna leave you guys with this. You got to find a way, you know. Like what worked for me may not work for someone else, or vice versa. You know, maybe it's people out there that's killing it with home warranty companies. But guys, you heard this analogy a bunch of times before. The more cooks you got in the kitchen, the more fucked up it's gonna be. If you got too many people making the decisions, guys, it's going to be way too complicated. And like I said, guys, someone's going to get taken advantage of financially, and that person is going to get taken advantage of financially. Dealing with these home warranty companies is you, guys. And like, don't be that guy. You know, understand your value. Like I said, if you're not confident yet with your value as a business owner, you know, take your ass back to the lab and learn more about HVAC. You know, like I said, I started the business not because I wanted to start the business. I started because I already knew HVAC, and I kind of got pushed into the business. A lot of people started, you know, I'm talking customers, not random people, customers that pay me on the side for for XYZ. You know, I heard that so many times, like, yo, Drew, like, damn, you back teaching at your old trade school. Oh, damn, you already doing all this. You should just think about starting your own company. And like I said, guys, I ignored it for so long. I'm like, you know what? Shit, if I can do one job and net, like I said, 10,000, that would take me at least and I'm already working 3 jobs at the time. I'm like, if I can do one job, doing one thing, that's going to be 10,000 versus working 3 jobs, burning myself into the ground for almost a year. Like think about it. That was a no-brainer. So like financially, it had to make sense for me. Like I said, I had to make sure that what I was leaving, I was gonna, I was gonna have the opportunity to make more money. But like, guys, like, I mean, it's like I said, that's the biggest thing. Like, you just had, if you feel like you're not competent enough, be honest with yourself as a business owner, and get back in the lab and learn more. Like the more you know, eventually the more you earn. But you have to sacrifice and put the time in to learn this stuff. Exalted born. Yep, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like you gotta, from a confidence standpoint, like I said, guys, like there should be no reason why you shouldn't understand what your cost is, and you should be able to stand behind your work. I don't care if you're charging $100 for a blow motor or $2,000 for ECM communicating blow motor, whatever the case is, guys. Stand behind your work, and like I said, don't confuse morals with prices. Just because you're not the cheapest, that don't mean you're not doing honest work. There's plenty of small time companies that would take. I'm talking like someone that's the cheapest guy around. He may ask for half up before he does anything from a customer, and then guess what? He might not even show up to finish the job. I've seen that a bunch of times, guys. But like, just because you charge more than companies, that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong. But like, you have to be able to communicate that with a customer. You can't be upset if they're not sure why you're charging the cost, but like say, explain to them what the cost of business means to you. What you have to do. And like I said, hopefully if you got a decent to great reputation, go into, like I said, down the line, what they can expect by doing business with you. Like I say, every single customer, we don't do business with customers we don't want to deal with. So like, no one's putting the gun in my head and making me fix someone's heat or AC unit. So like, every person that we deal with, I'm talking a customer, is a customer that we don't mind going to at least twice a year for maintenance, heat or AC, and on top of breakdown. So like, guys, like, I always paint the picture down the line. Guys, I can go on for hours about this shit. I know how customers think. I've been in this, like I said, 11, almost 12 years, guys. Like, this shit is like ABCs to me. But like, most customers, I don't care what they tell you, they don't want to think about HVAC, guys. Like, you got to understand, besides maintenance and besides something breaking down, most customers, like I said, even if they replace the filter, they got other things they they got to deal with, guys. It's your job as the HVAC company or the contractor is to make things simple. Like I said, don't overcomplicate things. Make sure you're reliable. Make sure you know what the fuck you're doing. And like I said, guys, like, you know, you build and you grow. You think long term. You don't think about how many customers you can get in 2 days. Think about 2 years. Think about 4 years. Think about 6 years. Like, you still have to. You still need your 1,000 tries. That's how I look at it, guys. Like, you know, if I had some type of microwave mindset, like, you know what, fuck, man, all right, these home warranty companies, I gotta get 100 maintenance customers. Like, nah, like if I start chasing maintenance customers, I don't want to deal with people that just want to bargain and hassle. You know, those 50 customers that we had, they didn't mind paying for more, but like I said, they just want someone honest that's not going to lie to them and take $50 a month from them. And like, you know, that, like I said, that wasn't every customer we dealt with. Some customers was cool with how those home warranty companies operated, but like I said, guys, like, it is what it is. You know, I had to remove myself from that situation, remove our company from that situation. I had to keep my peace and my sanity. And like I said, guys, it's not really much to it, man, you know. But guys, there you have it. I got to roll. Be sure to check out. I got to turn the AC on. That's how this moves, folks. But guys, be sure to check out the vlogs. I'm probably going to either put them up today or tomorrow. There's one I got to put out. I did a few jobs yesterday. I got to put up the one from yesterday. I'll put up the one from today, and then I gotta go to another job tomorrow. But guys, be on the lookout. But there you have it, episode 20. Home warranty companies. Like I said, if you guys deal with them, you have to make sure you got your own end goal. Otherwise, you're gonna get taken for a journey. And like I said, you know, let me know how you guys make out if you get if you get taken on that journey. But that's not gonna be my situation. But guys, I gotta roll. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.